We are back with Tea with a Shepherd, and now we are in part 4. I have to think about this sometimes. Part 4 of Matthew 17, and this is where Jesus predicts his death the second time in verse 22. When they came together in Galilee, he said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of men. They will kill him, and on the third day he will be raised to life." And the disciples were filled with grief. Now, Jesus has already shared this before. Remember, Peter pulled him aside. He was upset with him. He rebuked him. And I kind of almost see the 5 stages of grief going on already with the disciples. Because the first time, and this is early on before Jesus even died, but they're being prepared. And the first stage is anger that Peter goes through and going, "That's not right. You can't even say that." And then now you see them filled with grief. But this is where, again, Jesus is also saying Son of Man. We're seeing him saying this more and more and more. Now, 24. After Jesus and his disciples arrived in Capernaum, the collectors of the 2 drachma tax came to Peter and asked, "Doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax?" "Yes, he does," he replied. When Peter came into the house, Jesus was the first to speak. "What do you think, Simon?" he asked. "From whom do the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes? From their own sons or from others?" "From others," Peter answered. "Then the sons are exempt," Jesus said to them. "But so that we may not offend them, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open his mouth, and you will find a 4 drachma coin. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours." Okay, so there's a few cultural things to also understand. But one thing to kind of bring out as well, we've talked about that Jesus' ministry was actually not in a lack of funds to be able to take care of things. So why would Jesus... A lot of people say, well, he was too poor that they had to go have a miracle in a fish. Not necessarily. This is also a teachable moment that Jesus is doing with them, but also he didn't want to take from the ministry funds. This was more of a personal tax. And so Jesus is taking this from his own, he's not taking it from that ministry. So that's where that's coming from. They're likely at Peter's house here. So, let's see. Where do I begin? Okay, so the tax. We'll explain what this tax is. This is a synagogue church tax, if you will. So they had a tax that was for upholding God's house, for the temple, the tabernacle. This is going back to Exodus 30, verse 13. And it's really important because you have to understand this whole context of this passage. Oh, sorry, I was in the wrong. Exodus 30, if I can get there. But there's another thing going on before you even get to the, where is it? I'm in 30, but I can't turn the page to get to the right verse. There we go. Okay. Oh, no, I was on the wrong one. There it is. 30, verse 11. Then the Lord said to Moses, "When you take a census of the Israelites to count them, each one must pay the Lord a ransom for his life at the time he is counted." On this is going to be important. "Then no plague will come on them when you number them. Each one who crosses over to those already counted is to give half a shekel according to the sanctuary shekel." This is what the ones they're talking about here. Which weighs 20 gerahs. "This half shekel is an offering to the Lord. All who cross over, those 20 years old or more, are to give an offering to the Lord." Okay, so this is kind of the context of what this tax is. But what is Jesus talking about when he's talking about son? So Peter is going into the house. Without Peter saying a word, Jesus has known the conversation, obviously, that Peter has just had. For whatever reason, Peter is having this moment of, yeah, of course he does, whether he's trying to not offend them, but he is not. It's like he's forgotten that God is the Son, and so he's not saying any of this. He's just going, "Oh yeah, he pays it." After everything he's just seen, experienced, all of that, he's still going, "Oh, we don't know him." So then Jesus, when Peter comes in, Jesus addresses this. Basically, "Do you not realize who I am again?" And he gives him this example. "What do you think, Simon? From whom do the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes? From their own son or from others?" Now, what he's talking about here is a civil tax. If you're the king's son, the prince, would you pay the taxes for the castle? No, it's not required. It's not expected. You are exempt because you are a son of the king that is going to the castle. Well, that's exactly what Jesus is saying to Peter. And Peter is responding correctly. The sons are exempt. And so he's saying, well, then I'm exempt. But to not offend them, then you go and you can go and catch this fish and you'll have what you need. But he said he's differentiating because he also says, he doesn't say for our tax or for us, take it and give it to them for us. He says for my tax and yours, because he's differentiating. I'm a son. You are not. I'm exempt. You are not. So this is the differentiation here. But also, it is tied to the ransom. So Jesus came to be the ransom. So he is not going to ransom himself, which is what Exodus 30 is talking about. That's the whole thing about being ransomed there. So I'm going to read my note. The payment was a redemption of the person paid for, in which Jesus was certainly very completely free of. But since they don't fully understand his identity, this is, he's not going to let them be offended. He's just not going to add on to all the offense that they already have against him. But Jesus gave out of humility. Peter was giving out of obligation. Also, the interesting part of this, in more of a practical way, I see, is the timing of everything. Jesus knew that this was going to happen. So this fish had to already be prepared in advance to have picked up the coin, or in the moment that Jesus is saying, at some point, whatever the case is, this fish had to pick up 4 of these drachma coins, and he had to go right into the line wherever Peter was fishing, in this exact place, the right timing, and to actually want that bait, even with coins in his belly, in his mouth, he had to want that bait that Peter was putting out, for everything to line up perfectly in timing and placement. And God does that for us. Even when it doesn't make sense, sometimes when it doesn't look like it's possible, God still makes things possible. And he's prepared in advance for us by orchestrating all the details, even when we don't fully see it at work. And we're not told at the end of this chapter. We have to assume, because we know Jesus and we know that Peter obeys, that Peter went out and he caught this fish, and the taxes were paid. Also, taking away that Peter, you are the one who said that I am a son of God. It's Jesus saying this. You said that I am a son of God, the Son of God. You said it. So the sons are exempt. I'm going to reaffirm the fact that I am the Son of God. You've said it. You've just seen it. So why did you doubt again? And why did you question? And why did you cave to what man's opinion was? So he's teaching him a lesson here again. And Peter's going to learn to walk in that boldness. It's going to take time, and he's learning along the way. But when we begin to see him in Acts, he is bold and fiery, and nothing offends, nothing stops him. He has no more faith blockers at this point to be able to testify of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I will probably tomorrow, since we've just finished off this chapter, I will probably go into the discussion of those 3 different points of the mustard seed, because it became really fascinating this week, and I'd love to share it. So stay tuned tomorrow, and I can't wait to share that.